Okay, you want to try to do the intro?
No.
What are we doing?
You start. You said you could start it.
Which camera do I
Wait a
look
minute.
into?
He can't leave those stupid sunglasses on.
Bro, I'm colorblind, bro.
Are you going to be dark Brandon
You're not
too?
reading anything.
If I take them off, I'm like a golden retriever, bro. I can't. It's just gray.
So
It's
you're
almost
Dark
like-
Brandon.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Funny enough.
If you know, you know.
All right. So
No.
You gotta do the intro.
No.
welcome to the Babin Family Podcast. I think that might be what it's called. I'm not really sure. But today we're going to be talking about some real estate stories. Just some funny stuff that happened to us. That's pretty much what we're
Yeah,
doing.
that's what we're going to do. Is that what we're
Yeah,
doing?
we're doing a part
Yeah.
2. If you saw our last one, it was funny. We're saving the best story for last. Immediately after we filmed the last one, we went, oh my gosh, we forgot about that one story. And it's probably the best. Like, I don't think any other realtor can actually top that story.
Oh, really?
Nah,
Yeah.
I think there'd probably be some people that could give you a run for your money.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So stay to the end if you want to hear that one, because
Okay.
we're saving the best for last.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
still
good one.
really distracted by Seth's sunglasses.
I
I don't know how
gave
to
up.
help you, bro.
They're
Take them off.
His colorblind
bro.
glasses.
Why is
He's
it?
not reading nothing.
That is true. You'd actually, there's nothing to see.
There's nothing to see except him sitting there.
It's
with those
literally
goofy
great if I take
glasses
them
on.
off.
I actually don't believe that.
Stop moving the mic.
I don't think that has
Am I allowed to move the mic?
No.
No.
Who invited him?
Well, he actually
don't
had good
understand.
stories.
He has stories.
Yeah, he actually, you can start, say the
tell us
first one.
Yeah, what is your
Say
story?
your first one.
My very
We
first
could
story.
just tell his
No, yeah,
stories.
or the
he
one
don't
that-
have to tell them.
I have the best stories.
No, you do not.
Wrong.
Okay, go
So
for it.
my very first story was I was doing a showing.
Stop moving the mic.
I like it's like my fidget toy. I have to
know.
move
Listen,
the mic a
watch
little
it.
bit.
okay.
Let your father lead you
All right.
like this.
Anyways,
like this.
so I was showing the house.
Yeah.
Right. And I had made an appointment like way ahead of time, and I was. I called the agent, made sure that it was okay. Everything was fine. I was like, okay, gonna go show the house to this lady that I had just talked to over the phone, just like very briefly. So I show up to the house, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, like nobody answers. And I was like, okay, there's probably nobody there. And I open up the door, and as soon as I open up the door, I just get boom, swack, like hit right in the head by some kind of big old bug. What? And so I sprinted into the home like as fast as I could.
No.
I sprinted in there, and the lady, the homeowner, was there, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, what's happening? What's happening?" And I was like, "I don't know. This bug's trying to attack me. I'm so sorry." And I just kept on like, "I am so sorry." And it was one of those cicada killers.
You just rolled up in her house.
So
Did
this
you not
lady
call her?
was, he did
No, I
apparently.
did. I had the. I
So
had
she
the
knew you were
appointment.
coming, but you just busted up in the house.
Yeah, well, no, I guess her agent didn't talk to her ahead of time and did not let her
There's
know.
some miscommunication, so she's just chilling out at her
Clearly,
house.
She's
There was
chilling
a
at her house, and
miscommunication.
I sprinted into her home like full speed.
be
and
attacked.
It was the cicada killer, which is just like it looks
Giant
like those
bug.
big, like a
Lord.
killer hornet, like the killer hornet.
It's like
Yes.
giant.
It looks just like that, and I thought that's what it was. And so that thing was flopping on the ground, and I was like, "You got like a broom? Like I can get this out of here?" Like it was scary. I don't know
So it
why
kamikazed into your big head.
it did.
Yeah.
Right in the back of your
But
head.
I was too tough for it. It
It's a
ended
good
up
thing
killing
she
it.
didn't have a gun on her.
Hit that head like
I
a
know,
piece of
seriously.
steel.
She could have totally pulled out a pistol on you,
Yeah.
Running in her house. She could have been shooting you.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
No, so-
I'm still caught up on how hard his head is.
Yeah,
I always knew you had a hard head.
Yeah.
I get it from my father.
Ooh. Quick.
What does
The
that
window's
mean?
closing. The window's closing. You have to do a comeback.
It's too late.
I don't
no,
want
it's
to.
too late.
No.
Too late. You have
I'm
about
still
4
distracted by
seconds.
his stupid sunglasses.
Nobody does comebacks like I do.
You can't do that on our pod. Who invited him?
I did. I thought this was going
This
to be a
is
good
your
idea.
fault.
It's a good idea.
Well, I guess we'll find out. People can let us know in the comments if this was a good idea or
yeah,
not.
it's a good idea or not.
Now I'm questioning everything.
Soda.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
my
what
gosh,
do we got?
okay.
What do we got next?
So I have this one is a
Oh.
great one. We still have no idea what
is
happened.
terrible.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
We one of our favorite clients done lots of real estate transactions with us. We sold her house. She already moved out of the house, but it wasn't closed yet. Great neighborhood, beautiful oak trees in the front and the
Huge oak
backyard.
trees.
Gorgeous. The buyer's agent goes to do their final walkthrough, and takes a picture of the front of the house. And the massive, beautiful oak tree in the front yard has been chopped down. We're not talking like those little skinny, scraggly, oak trees or whatever. We're talking like
Massive.
what 100-year-old oak tree.
It was big. It was
Gone.
almost as big around the diameter as this table.
Yeah, gone from the front yard. And they're like, did y'all chop down the tree? The seller did not chop down the tree.
She was horrified. She was
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah, no one ordered anybody. No one called the landscape company to come chop down the tree. Literally, someone came in the middle of the night and chopped down this tree.
Yep.
We still to
it
this
wasn't
day.
in the middle of the night.
Well, I don't know when it happened,
Yeah,
but
but it was bad. It was they came up. Neighbors saw somebody chopping down the tree. I think they realized whoever it was that they were at the wrong address, so they just left the half chopped up tree in the yard and just bailed.
yeah.
And the neighbors didn't
So
know
y'all
what to
didn't
do.
figure it out?
No, like the
No.
neighbors didn't get like the license plate or anything. Because I
could
think
not
at
figure-
first they thought this was supposed to happen. They of course, you don't ever, when someone's doing yard work, you're not going over there. Are you supposed to be here? Like, you just
Correct.
I
assume.
do that every time, actually.
So you're one of those.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
What are you doing
Yeah.
on my street? What are you doing?
No, we tried to find a different address too that was similar, like 123 Main Street. We found like 123 Main Drive or whatever, and she tried to go talk to those people, but it wasn't them, and so we have no idea to this day who it was or why.
Oh, it was
but it's
Tree
just
bandits.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm
right
not
before
really sure.
closing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that's always interesting to me is we get the phone call like, all of a sudden this becomes the realtor's problem. Like that
Yeah.
thing happened. Somebody rolled up in their yard,
Chopped down this huge.
chopped down this massive 40-foot tall live oak tree.
Oh, it was horrible.
Nobody in their right mind would put a chainsaw to that tree
Yeah,
without verifying.
yeah.
I should
There's
be
no-
cutting this down.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it immediately became the realtor's problem.
What are we
You
gonna
gotta
do?
go over there. You gotta go over there. Well, what am I gonna do? I can't put it back together.
Yeah, like
You got to use your
Well,
magic
I'm
realtor
gonna plant
powers.
this little tree
and hope.
know.
and feel better about it.
I know,
Yeah,
I
it
know.
was.
It
That was
sad.
probably the strangest occurrence I've ever seen.
It was
just
very
like,
heartbreaking.
Yeah, you
Everybody
come back
felt
and
sick.
just like,
oh,
the oak tree's gone.
and you can't replace it. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, there's
something you
literally
can
nothing you
replace.
can do.
Yeah. It
The
was
only thing I thought is, well, at least the grass is gonna grow right here now.
You have a
They
nice
didn't
green
appreciate
lawn.
that though.
No, there's nothing.
Nobody appreciated that.
They ended up buying the house still. Everything closed. It was just such a weird,
Oh, it's terrible.
It's horrible. It was horrible. Oh my goodness.
it was super strange. Okay,
That's
Seth, you
awesome.
had one with an old lady. Seth finds himself in these weird situations, and I really honestly
What is
don't
up
know
with you?
how.
Nobody does real estate like he does.
Exactly.
Seriously, I don't know. Maybe it's because you're kind of like our gopher, where you just go get this, go do this.
I love that.
I'm,
About
so
I'm
him.
a
he just-
gopher.
Yeah.
I love that
What the
about him.
heck?
Look
Go
at his
get this.
teeth.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. You find yourself in these.
I do
weird
find myself in
situations.
weird situations, but that kind of happens to me just
In life?
daily life. Yeah.
I wonder if there's something about yourself that attracts that.
Yeah, like weirdness.
It's like going out of my way to talk to people, and sometimes I regret it. But it usually goes pretty well.
Yeah, I guess.
I can see that.
Yeah. But anyways,
You regretting it anyway.
yeah. One of the times, I was doing an open house, and you were there at the open house for a little bit, and then you had left, and I mean, so many people were coming in and out all day long, no problems. I'm finally ready to leave, and I'm locking everything up, turning off all the lights, and then I just hear, and I'm like, oh no! I'm looking around, looking.
It's another
for what it
cicada
is.
killer.
No, almost, but it was a wasp.
You
It's
can
like
use your head to
it
kill
was
it.
just a wasp, and the wasp wasn't bothering anything. It was trying to get out the window and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yep.
And I was just sitting there man, and I think the lady we were doing the house for, she didn't speak any English, so I couldn't even communicate with her. And
like the owner of the house.
yeah, and she was a sweet old lady, and I was like, I can't just leave the wasp alive in her house, right? And so I was looking, and she had already started moving out. I'm looking under all the cabinets, see if I can get some kind of spray, something to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
The
do
only
something.
thing I could find in the house was a towel. So I was like, okay, well, this is what I got. And so the wasp was on the blinds of the window. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna towel whip it, right? Because I don't want this wasp alive in this old lady's home, right?
That's nice.
So I got
Nice.
the towel, and I just went, whack. I mean, it was like, I'm
Like the
not lying,
Matrix.
I swear. But it literally,
Nobody
it was
believes
it was
you.
like the Matrix. I cut it in half. You should have saw. I've never been so happy in my life, dude. Literally
Whoa.
split in half with
Whoa.
the towel.
Ninja skills.
Ninja skills, literally.
Whoa.
I was-
Towel ninja skills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
crazy.
Help the elderly.
So at least you didn't. I was thinking that the story would continue that you broke the blinds.
Yeah, I'm thinking,
too.
do we have
Yeah.
insurance for this? Like, what is
Yeah.
about to happen? Did he break a glass
No,
and
it's
nobody
just-
told
No.
us?
I'm a professional. Okay.
helping the elderly.
yeah.
I help the elderly as my side hustle from real estate. It's like,
Nice.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Who invited him?
I know.
Yeah, I said 10 times. It was me.
It was you.
It was me. I take full responsibility.
Megan.
Another thing that happens to us a lot of times in real estate is because we're on our phones a lot.
Oh,
is
text messages.
Yeah, typos. I mentioned last time
Yes.
there was the Secret Realtor Facebook page. There was a post where everybody was just posting like their most horrific typos
Oh no.
that they've actually sent people.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, but I know
It's
you
pretty
guys
funny.
have some that you've personally done.
Yes.
Texting people.
One day I was showing some acreage property to some clients, and I was texting the wife, and it was rainy outside, and I said, "Hey, don't forget to bring your boots," but it autocorrected to "Don't forget to bring your boobs." So I was mortified, and she goes, I'm planning on bringing them." Well, good. I'm glad. So it's just things like that. It just autocorrects the craziest things. I don't understand it, and I
That's
should have.
crazy.
I should have checked it first.
I'm paranoid about it now.
I think
Oh,
now
it's a big
what
deal.
now it makes me think is like the autocorrect likes typing the word
I think
boob.
it must. You have
I'm
one.
looking at a boat. I'm texting the guy and I'm asking him about this boat on Facebook Marketplace and I say, hey, I'm really interested. Would you mind sending me better pictures of? And I tried to type the word boat, and I know how to type that word.
Spell it right now.
And when I hit
Spell it.
send, BOOBS, when I sent the text, it said, "I'm very interested. Can you send me more pictures of your boobs?"
This guy.
It was a guy.
It was a guy.
I deleted my Facebook account.
There's
Not really.
there's no recovering.
There's no recovering from that. You don't even say anything. I'm not buying the boat. I'm never looking at another boat again in my life.
Yeah.
Because all I can see is the guy sending me a picture like this. With
That would be
earring.
funny.
He's like, are you gonna pay full price now?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to.
You have to pay full price after that. That's what
Exactly.
these phones auto-correcting.
Yeah, okay, so I
My-
found some good ones.
My favorite is just like I'll call you in a sex, and it's like
Oh, dang it. Yeah. That's
every
terrible.
time.
So these are some of the good ones. It always is like a little edgy, I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of programming. I don't know.
It must be.
So this is so I'm going to read a couple from some other realtors in our area. One is, dude, I sent a client telling him that the backyard had a really big deck. Guess what it told him?
no.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of those. A lot of these are common occurrences. Someone will post something like that. Like,
Yes.
I've done that 10 times.
I know.
Like,
Maybe
I know.
there's somebody
Same.
like at AT&T somewhere behind the scenes.
That's what I'm
like, just
saying.
Big practical
They
jokers.
must.
We're gonna switch the text messages as
Yeah.
people send them, and we're gonna sit here and laugh.
Yes.
So
That
this
that
one-
is pretty funny.
That is funny.
this one, I told my client to enjoy the new hoe instead of home.
Oh,
That's a bad
that's
one.
bad. That's bad.
Nobody knows.
I put a stop to this by going to my settings on my phone and using text replacement. No more problems typing lustings when I meant listings.
I've had that happen.
Yeah,
I've had
that one's good.
lustings pop up.
Lustings.
It is
I don't have
horrible.
I'll be there at 2 p.m. to install your lick box. Obviously, should have said lock box.
Lockbox.
Lick box. Nice.
Told the client I was going to poop in instead of pop in.
Oh no, that's horrible.
That was a good one. That one's probably my favorite.
That's pretty fire. I like
That's
that.
funny.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people put on there, like, my kid got my phone and sent like a million unicorn emojis to this other listing agent in the middle of the night. Like,
oh no.
yeah, when you interact with people
Seth
like
still
that.
does that. He's 20-something years old.
still
Grabbing
yeah.
my phone and sending unicorn emojis.
Yeah, to
It's
other people.
probably my favorite pastime.
I was recently. This has happened to me recently. I'm showing this farmland and there's this younger couple. They're maybe late 20s, early 30s. Got some little children, and the wife is just moving out of the city, and they've got this, YouTube fetish of watching these things on. I'm gonna become a homesteader.
Yeah.
Right. And
Live the
and
country
I'm
life.
listening, and I can feel it. Right. You will live in the country life, and but we have no experience with it, right?
Yeah.
So God bless it. I love it. You just go out and get an adventure. And so I'm consciously aware. I'm showing them the property, and I'm thinking, man, I want to help these people see a vision. And so I'm just doing my job, right? And I'm walking around, and I've been on this property
Oh, a lot.
100 times.
Right.
I've never had a problem, right? I walk through, and we walk around the corner around this big old tree, and right where she's stepping, there's a big old snake.
Rattlesnake?
Just curled up. I don't know what kind of snake it was, but I had my snake boots on.
Whoa.
And like lightning, I just stomped on it.
Wow.
It was kind of like Seth's wasp story.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
Yeah. It's in our genetics.
Stepped on it, and
Yeah.
I just stomped on it, and I said, "Don't worry about it. There are not many snakes on the property." And
She's like,
and then
oh
she's
no.
like, "Oh," and the husband's like, "I can't believe you put your foot there." I didn't really think about it. I
just
just felt
happened.
like it was a good idea to kill it.
And especially with the kids around.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
parent
you gotta
mode.
think about
That's
that.
right. I got into parent
Spidey
mode.
senses.
That's right.
Stomped on it.
Good for you.
I don't know what I would have done if I'd have been in
So were
flip
the
flops.
kids freaked out?
Nobody freaked out because I never got off the snake. I just stood there and kept talking like
Like it didn't
I
happen.
never. It didn't happen. Nobody
You
saw
want
a
this
snake.
property.
This is
Yeah.
a great property. Don't worry about
It's
this
like freaking-
thing right there.
It's like moving and
It's
flipping
fl-
out.
No, I never picked up my foot. It was not getting off. It was kind of
my
like that picture.
gosh.
It was like that picture in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, okay.
And the scripture says, "I will stomp on its head."
Yep.
It didn't bruise my heel because I had snake boots on.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's why. That's
Adam
written
and
in
Eve
there.
didn't have snake boots.
They
I
did.
had
They
snake
did.
boots.
Different story. We
They would
wouldn't be
not
here.
get into my heels.
Yeah,
There you go. I love it.
Snake boots.
Snake
Oh my
boots.
goodness.
that's hilarious.
Snake boot. Ooh, aha.
I don't know how. I don't know how many times though we have showed up in different, like especially with condos. You know, you go to show something, and you're entering in a different listing, and somebody's in there, and the listing that you should have shown is just next door.
Oh,
Oh
Lord.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
that has
Seth almost got
happened.
shot one time.
Oh
Because of that.
really?
A what?
You almost got shot.
Kind of.
Whoa! So tell us what happened.
It wasn't. I was pulling up to
What had
one-
happened was
I was at this listing, and it's like it was these like there was a bunch of listings on the same street,
Yeah.
and I had picked the wrong one, and
He had-
I was waiting for the client to meet me there, and it was one of those homes where like you have to like go through like they had the front yard fenced in, right? It was like
Got
an
it.
acre
Yep.
lot.
Oh,
they
wow.
had the front yard fenced in, so I'm like pulling through the fence, like I'm parked up in the driveway,
like by the house.
and I'm waiting for the client to pull up, and then all of a sudden this dude rips into the driveway, and I'm like, is that my
Behind you?
client? And then he hops out the truck and like comes up like, what's up, bro? And I was like, oh, hey, like, what's going on? And he's like, are you like my client? He's like, no, my wife just called me. Are you just like trying to show the house? I was like, yeah, is this like blah, blah, blah address? He's
Right.
like, no, bro, this is the wrong one. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize.
Man.
But he was pretty cool about it afterwards, but it was a little like,
that sucker was
ripping
defending
up.
his queen.
No, yeah, he was rolling
You
up
was
in
about
there.
you were about to get snake booted.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
get snake booted.
That's
Dang.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that does happen. You're on the same street and you just like you're an autopilot and you're like, oh, there's a for sale sign. It's this one,
And it's not.
and it's not.
And it's not.
And man,
it's
people
not.
get bent out of shape.
Oh, they do.
Goodness
It's-
gracious.
people
I
get
never like,
upset.
bro,
Yeah.
you got to relax, man. Life is not that difficult.
Yeah.
No, people get too bent out of shape about like.
Well, I guess if you live in New
smallest
York,
things.
it could be challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
Yeah.
different
scared,
cultures.
for
But it's
sure.
like, did people like on the driving in Cedar Park, right? Because I just moved to Cedar Park. Driving in Cedar Park, I mean, people are like cutting me off, not using their, and I'm like, all right, like I'm not even gonna get mad about it. I'm gonna just be relaxed. And it's like we always end up at the same light, anyways. And they're like, 90
Yeah.
miles an hour, and I'm like, all right, I'm
I always
right
say,
behind
like,
you.
hey, hurry up and wait.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm always like, it's their world and we're living in it.
That's
Like
it.
straight up, it's like
I know.
Yeah. Well, I did notice, like, culturally, I feel like I could be wrong. It's just my perspective. Southerners always assume the best of, like, oh, there's probably a reason why
Yeah.
they're upset or
Their
whatever.
grandma's sick and they're trying to get to her.
Yeah. And then, like, other places, they're like, nah, they're doing it on purpose because they're trying to make me mad.
Oh,
this
I
guy
can't
thinks he
assuming the
can
absolute
get
worst.
one over on me.
I can't believe it. Like, it is a very different call. Like, I've had clients just like literally look at me and go, "Why in the f are everybody around here so nice?" I was thinking to myself, like, did you just come out of prison? Like, what in the world?
This is, like,
What's
normal.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
This is what we want to be. We want to be nice.
Yeah. Or
That's
Seth
awesome.
met this realtor at the gym, and I was there, and we were talking with him, and he was from not here. and was telling me the story
Yes.
because he knew I did all the paperwork stuff and was like the contracts person. So he's telling me the story about this other realtor and how she's trying to rip him off and she's not going to pull one over on him and all this stuff. And I'm listening and I'm just going, poor lady. She literally, with what he's giving me information wise, she's doing nothing wrong.
Wow.
And he's like, I know she was trying to screw me over. So then I said, okay, I'll do it, but you have to pay me $100. And I'm like looking at this guy and I'm like,
Yeah, bro, she was
What the
totally
heck?
trying to screw you over. Bro.
no, she was literally trying to keep the deal alive and trying to work and like all this kind of stuff. He's like, no, she was trying to get me.
She was trying to get me. She thought I was a
like,
sucker.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
it.
and I was like,
I feel like I try to say it on every
No.
time we do a
Crazy.
podcast. You really have to interview your realtor.
Seriously.
You have to interview your real.
do.
Everybody's passionate about something, right?
yes.
And if they're, that guy's passionate about protecting somebody. I don't know who he's trying to protect.
I don't know if
but
it was the client
He should have been
or
a lawyer. That sounds like he should have went into the wrong
I
field.
guess, but then I'm like, dang, that like he was about to blow up this deal over something so minimal
yeah.
that I'm like, that's not in the best interest of your client to get emotional about it and then
Yeah, I
like
promise
blow
you, he has
something
never
up.
been to a negotiations class ever.
Well, we've seen that though. You and I have experienced. I have experienced personally negotiating a deal, and I can see the emotion from either a listing agent
The
or buyer's
realtor.
agent.
The
they
other
take
realtor.
offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like their emotion is totally not representing their client. Like
Yeah,
they have
it's about
something
them
else-
now instead of the client's
something,
best
They have
interest.
another context, or they're having something awful happening in their life, and they're bringing that to the table. And it's like, whoa, where's all this emotion coming from? So
Yeah.
it's pretty common actually.
It's always interesting, right? We can laugh and have a lot of fun, but we find a lot of this craziness go on when people are self-centered. So even operating in the real estate world, we show up on a piece of property, laughing about the snake, but like I didn't want that client to be afraid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as fast as I could get rid of that thing so she didn't see it, I felt like she was gonna have a better experience, right? Not anything other than just like when you're self-centered, you become transaction oriented, right? I want the transaction to go on.
Yeah.
And the transaction becomes a major motivator because I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Versus I'm trying to meet the needs that you have and I want to facilitate that. So avoiding conflict, avoiding, overthinking something or just ridiculous suspicion that's not based on truth.
Reality. Yeah. Or even just trying to find the win-win. This probably, but I don't know if you even remember this, but I remember it because I got so mad. It was so awful. You were representing the buyer and then the listing agent was representing the seller, obviously. And you guys were negotiating repairs and I was in the car and it was on speakerphone. And I think the request was probably like $5,000 worth of repairs money that we were trying to get for our buyer.
Right.
And the seller was only going to give like $1,000. And so you had said, I will give up a couple grand of my commission to go towards that. Can the seller, that was your commission.
Right.
And you were asking the listing agent, can you ask the seller if they could just meet us in the middle? I'll give up some of my commission, ask your seller to come up and just make up the couple more extra $1,000.
Right.
Listing agent goes quiet and is like, well, can you give up any more of your commission? And he asked you that. I was like,
No.
no, how
The
dare you
answer is
ask someone
no.
else to give up more of their money when you didn't have to, first of all.
Right.
And not even try to like go to the seller to work it out or even like think about yourself. Okay, I'm trying to get this deal done.
They were not contributing in their commission in this at all.
I know.
Yeah.
That it's just like the
You were offended for me.
Yes, you were trying to make the deal happen because your buyer needed that money.
Yeah.
The seller, obviously, I don't know if he needed the money or not, but you're trying to make the win-win for everyone.
You are.
And he's just like, well, can you give more? And it's like,
The answer is no.
It's his world and we're living in it.
exactly. I was just
So
like,
grateful
what
to be
the
around
heck?
you.
Well, I think
Thank you so much.
Terrible.
I think it's so funny though, but like the offense thing with a lot of, I mean, just people in general. I was showing some clients some homes, and we found a home we really liked. They were like, "Let's buy it. It's
Wow.
next to the parents.
Yep.
Like it's like
It's
right down the
perfect.
street from
Yeah.
the parents' house."
Yep.
And so I run comps on it, and it's like massively overpriced, like $60,000.
Oh my
Yeah.
Right.
goodness.
So I just call her and I just gently am like, hey, like I ran some comps. I think that, I don't want to waste our time putting in an offer that's going to be too low. That's going to offend you guys.
Right.
But this is where I think it's at. And so we're probably going to offer around this number. And she just was like, yeah, I don't know where you're getting those numbers from. No, I already looked at the comps. I know it's priced right. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, and so I told them like, hey, I'm still happy to send an offer, and if you guys want, and they're like, nah, forget that. Like, if she's not gonna budge,
consider
like,
it,
even
yeah.
consider
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think my comp number, I was at like 350. Man, it was like 2 months later, still sitting on the market, and it was at 300,000.
Whoa.
They dropped it that much.
Because this was at the end of the peak of the market when it kind of
Yep.
it
Sort of
shifted.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
and she
the
didn't catch
perfect
it.
timing, and she
They missed it.
missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Your experience with people again, you have to try to meet your seller where they are, because I've been on the wrong end of that, right?
Yeah.
Where the seller insists the house is worth this much money no matter what
Well,
I
this was
say.
the agent.
Well, yeah, no
though.
matter what you do.
That was the agent was getting offended about the
Right.
comps, because I was
Right.
like, I'll send you my comps.
I know.
And she sent me her comps, and they were just
know.
it was ridiculous. They were not comparables.
Yeah.
That's
That
hard.
happens.
It
Hard.
is.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
a tricky thing.
That's
Yeah.
so fun. So I have a pretty epic story.
Yeah, we're gonna end this one with a bang. This is
Yeah.
probably the best real estate story I've ever heard in my life.
Aw, this
I
is
don't know if
having
it's
fun.
best, but it's certainly fun. I think some of the other stories in our last podcast was really good, but the guy the seller hiding in the attic, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That was pretty crazy. But I was going with some clients of ours, some dear friends that we had their house under contract in Leander. And so we were kind of in crunch time to get their house sold because they were building a new home in Georgetown. So we go and we look at all the different houses in Georgetown that they really like, and we go look at the little model homes, and we're checking out with builders, and we go into this cul-de-sac in this neighborhood, and it has all the different
Model
builders and
homes.
model homes that we can tour. And so we park and we start getting out, and we're like, I think this is going to be a great builder. Let's go see what inventory they have. I think this will be the perfect opportunity for us, because I saw a list of a house that looked perfect for them on the list. And so we go up to the door, and just as we're at the door of this model home, getting ready to open the door, all of a sudden we hear these tires screeching behind us in the cul-de-sac. And it was like 6 vehicles descended on the cul-de-sac at one time.
What kind of vehicles
Like
were
off
they?
of a movie.
They were unmarked vehicles,
Yep.
and then
All of them were unmarked?
All of them was unmarked except one was a police officer, and they're all like,
Were they like the
And then,
big black
the
vans?
SUVs?
they
Like
had a couple of
SUVs?
SUVs, but a lot of them were Ford, like black.
This is like
sedans
her
and stuff.
dream. Like,
Yeah,
It
it's
is
like a
like-
spy movie.
She
Jason
just wants to
Bourne.
be in the middle of a spy
And
movie
then-
so
and then
bad. Look at
all
her.
these guys jump out, and they have FBI on their jackets.
Jackets, yeah.
And they're got guns in their pockets, and it's just like full on. And I'm thinking, oh,
They were
and they're
looking
like,
for Donald Trump.
They weren't. They weren't. Were they like? Literally, I was starting to open up the door, and here they come, and they're like, "Get out of the way, take cover," and we're like.
Take cover.
Like, what does this mean?
Hit the
We had
ground.
this shootout.
And so my clients are, they're older.
older, yeah.
And so, we can all only move so fast, and we're all kind of in a little bit of shock, like trying to process this information of all these FBI agents descending behind us. So there's cops going around the model home, and this one going around. They're like, I'm thinking, whoa, what is going down? So we go. He said, "Get in your cars."
They were looking for
And
documents.
so the wife is so sweet. She goes immediately. She's listed it. She's going straight for her car, and she's gonna get in. Well, me and the husband are walking back.
Slowly trying
Because we
to
want to
watch.
see what in the world's going on.
This
we were
is the
prepared
kind of
to
stuff
take
like
cover.
I want to look. I
know.
want to see what's going
duh.
on.
It's not every
Get
day.
out
We
of
wanted to see.
there.
So anyway, we thought, it's no fun to be in the car. So we get her out, and then we go across to the model home that's across from it.
And we're going to watch
And,
through the window.
and so as we start going into that door, the lady opens the door. "Come on, take cover." And she's telling us, the other model home ladies, "Come in." So we go in, she locks the door. We all go to the bedroom.
Were you in like Chicago or something?
No.
We were in Liberty Hill. And so,
gosh.
so she locks the model home. We're all safe inside. We go to the front bedroom window, and all 4 of us are looking to see what is happening.
I would have given everything to have a camera.
It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I wish
Are you
I'd have had a
kidding me?
camera for
So
that.
then after 5 minutes, we cannot seeing much activity.
5 minutes.
Yeah, and then she starts trying to sell us her model home, because she was
Like,
a
okay, the
salesperson.
show's
She's
over.
like,
Since
"All
you're
right,
here."
since you're here, come on, I got these houses to sell
This
you.
is a whole ruse.
So
They
we
do
get
this
her
every time.
list, and then we keep looking to see if it's safe enough to come outside. Well, then all of a sudden I see the FBI agent just pulling boxes and boxes of files
Knew
out
it.
of there.
They were
Yeah.
looking for Donald
Files.
Trump's files.
Some
And they're
buddies.
loading them up in their vehicles, loading up in the vehicles. police officers get back in the cars and we're like, okay, it's safe enough to go. So we get into our car and then I drive around as I'm leaving the neighborhood. Most of the vehicles are gone, but there is 2 cars left by the community pool. And they're pulling out documents in the back of the car and they're taking pictures.
Going through all the documents.
Right then and there. It was so bizarre. So anyway, that was quite exciting.
I can't believe you didn't stop and ask them, hey, what are you doing?
I didn't want
See,
to.
I tried to
I
Google
didn't
it
want to.
afterwards, and I couldn't find any news stories.
tried
or
to
anything.
Google it.
100%. You have to
totally.
figure out what
So
happened.
many other things to do with your time.
Well, but then the person
Google
that was
it.
in the model home,
Google it.
he
Yeah.
came out at the end and he was on the phone, just pacing back and forth.
Oh,
pacing
yeah,
back
he
and
just got
forth.
raided by the FBI. I'd be freaking out.
I have no.
I would've gone
clue
up and
of
asked
what
him, "Hey, are
happened,
you okay?"
but
And, like, try to-
obviously, there's something going cray-cray at the model homes. Just watch out when you go and visit them.
Yeah.
At the
It's
model
probably some
homes.
tax
Yes.
thing.
There's something going down.
It's probably just
No, I
the
think that
IRS.
would be hilarious if Megan was saying that it was just a ruse.
They do this
they
every
that every time. Somebody calls it.
That would be horrible. We were a little.
awesome.
We were a little
I'm gonna freak some people
traumatized.
out today.
We
No,
were
and
a
then you
little
push them to the
traumatized.
other model home, so it makes the other one look bad. So they just
it was
call
a
it.
marketing thing.
Yeah, like they call in a fake tip to the
They're
FBI every
swatting.
time.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
that was
awesome.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
For that ruse.
Honey, you got
to-
bamboozled.
I did.
Yeah, there was
we
a
Did you
model
buy
home.
that one?
We did not go
the
to that model home.
across the street called them to make you come.
Correct. They called
did
it a
that to
fake
you.
tip.
You got bamboozled.
It worked. It
Worked
worked.
every time. Classic.
Totally
Oh my
worked.
The old
God.
switcheroo.
Nobody does marketing.
Yeah. No, I think it was all you got bamboozled.
I
That'd
could
be a
have,
good tip.
I could have
The
it
lady
was
across
wild.
the street called the FBI just to make you get out of that house.
To come to her model home so
To
she
come to
could
her
sell.
model home.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would work.
It would
Or
work.
most
It would
likely it was
work.
probably some
Let's
IRS
chase the elderly
thing.
down the
It could have been
sidewalk
the
and make
IRS
them
thing,
fall
but that was a
down.
lot of people for IRS. I'm just sorry. It
The
was
only
like
IRS
scenarios
thing.
are
At least 12
IRS
people.
or money
Wasn't
laundering.
IRS.
Get down on the
That's
ground.
FBI.
You didn't pay
Or
us
Jeffrey
$100.
Yeah.
Or no, but why would the FBI go there?
I guess what I was weirded
Money
out is
laundering.
is leaving the
I'm
subdivision.
just trying to sell real estate.
Is leaving
That's
this-
all I'm trying to do.
leave the subdivision and they're taking pictures. It's like, why would you not take all the documents to your office and then start taking photos? Like that whole piece of taking photos as they're like going through some of the stuff in the
they had
trunk.
to verify they got the smoking gun.
Maybe they did.
All
I
They're
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
looking
tell
for
you is
something
that-
specific.
It seems something. I don't. It was just a little
When
wild.
we decided to be realtors, these are the things that never came up.
no,
in my
no
head.
one told us that was part of the
No.
job description.
Cicada killers, fleas,
Please.
snakes,
The FBI.
FBI. Like that's
They
kind
should
of
be advertising that.
Taking
People,
care
more
of pets.
people
taking
go
care of pets,
chasing dogs down the street.
killer pigs in the backyard.
Talking parrots,
Yeah.
saying things,
Yeah.
all that.
They
Baby,
honestly-
baby dolls in the basement.
Oh,
That was a scary one.
That was
That
creepy.
we don't even want to talk about that one.
That was actually that's not
Somebody
even
should
a
have called
joke.
the FBI on that one.
That was pretty creepy.
Yeah,
What
that's
was
not
it?
even a joke.
No,
That
I don't
actually
remember
happened.
it.
Why not?
Why can't you talk about it?
It's crazy.
This has been our episode of
What?
Abbott Family Real Estate.
No.
We're not
too
talking about
scary.
it.
We talked about it last time.
Oh, did you
we?
talk
Yeah,
about it last
yeah,
time?
we did.
I don't remember
Yeah,
if we
we
did
did.
talk
If
about
If you
that
didn't
one.
have those crazy glasses on, we'd have told that story. But
Yeah,
anyway.
maybe.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it.
Maybe they should start advertising that to get more real estate agents. Like, do you want to be involved with the FBI? do you want to be in constant
Would
danger?
you like to be covered in fleas in
Do
a
you,
house?
do you always have maybe like hyperventilate when you walk in the door? 'Cause
Do you like
don't know what's
snooping
coming
around
at
people's
you?
houses?
How about an anxiety pig in the backyard?
Yeah.
Stressing.
Do you want to wake up every day not knowing what's going to happen next? New
my
adventure every day.
What about going into a house with two crackheads waiting for you around the corner?
Yeah.
Scaring the heck out of everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You should be a real estate.
Be a real estate agent.
Yeah. That'd work. It sounds like an
It'll
exciting
be
job.
fun, they said.
That sounds more exciting than you do a bunch of paperwork and sometimes get to go look at houses. That
yeah.
sounds more fun.
It is a lot more fun to do that. for
Meeting
sure.
people, snooping in people's houses, FBI.
Well, you're not snooping in people's
no, you're not.
houses.
You're not snooping
I
in
don't
people's houses.
snoop in people's
No, I
houses.
don't.
I don't know
You
about you.
I don't snoop.
You lose your
FBI.
license.
But I do think it's funny. Like I'll be like showing a house, and then people will just start opening cabinets. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
okay,
you have to
hold
see what's
on.
inside the
Oh my
cabinet.
goodness!
All right.
I had a client one. That is so true. Like I
did have a client.
Oh, every house we go into, that brother would just start going through everything, and a couple of them, I was so uncomfortable, and finally I had to go to him and said, "Hey, people's dresser drawers have
Yeah,
nothing
no,
to
no,
do with
yeah.
the house, bro.
Yeah.
You just cannot
Yeah.
do that."
No, that's different. A kitchen
And he
cabinet's
got
different.
really offended. It was like, "Whoa, I'm just looking around." Like, no, we're looking at the house, not people's personal.
not the
things.
furniture.
It's true. And people, I think about with families that have kids, when we go and look at houses, it's so hard because if another house has toys,
Oh, yeah,
and
their
your
kids.
clients,
Oh, yeah.
So I actually got a call. I got a call from somebody. Now I'm thinking about this. I had a family that had little kids, and I guess they touched the toys up at the game room.
Oh.
And I got a call from the listing agent, said, "Yeah, can you please tell your clients to keep control of their kids because they touched the toys upstairs?" And I'm thinking, I went up there, I didn't see any toys touched, but they must have had that toy just perfect, and they could see that it was moved, and it was my client's kids, and so I was like, I am so sorry, but they were like super. It was like
It wasn't like they went in there
You should
tearing up the
maintain your own
place.
children.
You should
Yeah.
totally.
And you should not have things out when you're
Well,
showing
that's
your
what I
house
told
that
her.
you don't
I
want
said-
anybody to
I
touch
said,
because
this is-
people are going to touch it.
It's so
Yeah.
hard. It's so hard especially when you have families that are buying
it.
this house that
get it.
have kids. I mean, put your stuff
people are-
away.
man, there's a lot of crazy things that go
Yeah.
on. They're going to touch your things. Their children are going to touch your things. People don't
Potentially.
control their children. Like all the hide it, lock it, don't leave it in there.
Yep.
People are gonna watch you on cameras.
They're going to
Totally.
watch you
Oh
on
my
camera.
gosh.
They will
Gosh.
record you if you're not careful.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They
All
will
the
time.
It's
listen
gonna
to
happen.
you through their Alexa.
Yes.
I've
Yes,
had that
they
happen
will.
a couple
Yeah,
times
you can
where
see
it's
it.
like
can see
you
that.
got like
Yeah.
the green ring, and I'm like,
They're listening.
I'm not saying anything. Like you're welcome
Well,
to
and that's
listen.
what I have clients that want to negotiate in a house recently, actually. And we were sitting on this really cute porch in Georgetown, and there was a ring camera, and they're like, "Well, what do you think we should offer?" I said, "We're not going to have this
I
conversation
think we should
right
stop
here.
talking in front of the ring camera.
Let's go someplace else and have this conversation.
Yeah, seriously. Don't say you like the house.
Don't say you like it.
Just walk in there silently.
I hate
Yeah. If anything, say, "Oh, it's terrible. I don't like it that much." You
Exactly.
know? Don't let them know how much
Exactly.
you like it. I think I said that. I think I may have said it last time, but we had a client in an open house. We had already put an offer in on it, but there was an open house. And so we were hoping no other people would bid on it. And she went to the open house and started trashing the house to everyone who showed up there.
Yes.
So that even like, she's like, "Oh, did you see? It's like kind of cracked right there." Like, I don't know, man.
You're
And,
kidding.
No,
no, yeah,
I
she
had
was
a
trying
client-
to do that.
I had a client went to a house and stayed in the open house the entire
time.
time.
Yes, to see if anybody else was going to put
Because
in
they
an offer.
wanted it. They
Yes.
wanted it, and they just stayed there. People.
Or we had your listing, remember? And at the open house, the neighbor came over and said that the house was infested with rats.
That's right.
Oh my gosh!
I
I remember that.
remember that.
It wasn't during the open house, it was during the inspections.
Yes. So
Did the
this was
FBI show
crazy.
up?
No, that would have been cool though.
And then they shot her.
No.
No, it was a client. She was like my age. She was young in her 20s and bought this house. Then a couple of years later, wanted to sell it, was making good money on it. And it was awesome. Single gal in her 20s, did really well. We're under contract. The buyers are there with the inspector. And I get a call from the buyer's agent saying, so they're backing out of the contract. I'm like, oh my gosh, like no way the inspection was that bad.
No.
And the house backed up to like a green belt with a little park and stuff like that. And she said, well, he's like, I know this probably isn't true, but it's too late. They've already scared my buyers. And I was like, what? And he's like, the neighbor came over and said
Yes.
that this whole neighborhood is infested with rats, the biggest rats you've ever seen in your life. And there's homeless people come in the backyards all the time from the park and all this kind of
just
stuff.
not true.
And I was like, I've never once heard that. This is a single lady in her 20s that
Yeah.
live here.
She's lived there for several years.
She's lived there for like at least a year or 2 years at this point.
Right.
Never had a problem.
Right.
He's like, I tried to explain it's too late. They're already upset.
Oh, I know.
And legally, you have to disclose that.
Right.
If
Yes.
that's actually
100%.
happening,
Yes.
you
If that's
have to
actually, you have to
disclose it.
tell people that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so they backed out of the contract. And I was like, I called my seller and I was like, you have to talk to your neighbor and figure out what's going on. Like maybe they're
Tell him to
offended
get his
about
rats
something.
under control.
But
Give them cookies.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
but because it's going
Feed
to
him, send
probably
him on
happen
vacation or something.
again. That they're obviously mad about something
Yeah.
that they're going over and telling people stuff, which legally I think
Yeah.
you could probably take action because they lied about something that caused
that's
you
what-
financial
harm.
harm.
Yeah.
What
it's
ended up
crazy.
happening?
We ended up getting under contract with another buyer and ended up selling. And
Really
I think I
quick, yeah.
pre-warned that buyer's agent, I'm like, hey, here, because they of course asked, it was pending and I was back on the market. I'm like, look, the neighbor
scared
got
him.
offended about something with my seller. I don't know why, because she's a cute little 20-year-old gal. I
can assume why.
I mean, I don't know. And then I was just like, they got scared because the neighbor
had
was
rats.
saying
She
stuff about having rats and homeless people, but she's never had a problem. And on the inspection report, there's no evidence of rats being in the house. So
That's crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, we ended up selling it, but that was crazy. The neighbor got upset about something, just came over and was just like,
lesson learned.
It is.
Be kind to your
be kind to your neighbors because they could cost you. I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it could cost you thousands.
she was
of
going to
dollars.
make like almost 6 figures on that house when we sold it. She had
Wow.
made that much money on it, and it cost her that. Like,
Wow.
that's
Well,
significant.
well, I mean, it's obviously there's legal ramifications, but the reality is, your neighbor will walk over.
Oh,
they
oh,
will
yeah.
walk
They will,
over and they will
100%.
say things. And you just got to know it. You got to know it.
And that is a strat. I do ask.
You do that.
I
As
do.
buyer's agents, if there's a neighbor in the yard,
I
you
do
go over
ask
there and you ask,
questions.
how do you like this
Yeah.
neighborhood?
Do you have
Like,
any friends? You know, what is this neighborhood like? I do as a
Are
buyer's
you
agent.
saying you
ask them.
question the neighbors? Is that what you
If
do?
they're out in the yard,
She
I do.
interrogates
I
them.
definitely do.
See, that's
Yeah.
why people
I do.
roll up in the back of
Yeah.
you ready to knock you,
You
out.
do
'cause
find
you're in
out
the
a lot of
wrong
information
driveway.
from the neighbors. Whether it's true or not, you do find out. And you always have to take that with a grain of salt.
right. Yeah.
So-
They could be having a different experience
for
than
sure.
you would in a neighborhood or whatever.
Right.
But no, yeah, you got to make friends with your neighbors. And I would say the majority of people that show up at open houses are your neighbors. Because I was curious. Like, I wonder what your house looks like. And they're going to come in.
They do. They want to see.
And then
just
they're like,
wanna
let me
look.
open up all the dresser drawers.
Yeah. I mean, kitchen cabinets and pantries and closets are fine, but like
Closets
other
fine, yeah.
furniture
Personal
stuff.
furniture, don't touch.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
bad.
if you're going to be a realtor, you have to have the courage to tell your buyers and your open house people, stay out of the drawers.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Don't play with the
You think
children's
it's common
toys.
sense, but it's not.
Also,
apparently
my
not.
favorite realtor thing that just comes up all the time is just okay, the difference between an office and a bedroom.
Oh, yeah. If it has a closet or not.
Bedroom has a closet, the office does not.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you count it
it's
as
They're
a bedroom
both
or not?
rooms.
I
but
know. I
Like,
know.
yeah, legally counting it
Legally
as a bedroom.
counting it.
It's
Exactly.
like, is this the office or the bedroom? It's like, where's the closet? There it is.
Listen, where I'm from, if you could put a bed in it,
It's a bedroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
know.
Yeah.
But not around
I don't
here.
care what the MLS says.
Yeah, there's all those rules.
That's awesome.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching our podcast. We really appreciate the support and the laughs with people. If you know anyone thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, please feel free to give them our number. We'd love to help them.